This video is called Controversial Internet Personalities Iceberg Explained. Always love watching Dantavius videos. So let's get this going.
I've been described by some as a controversial YouTuber. And listen, I get it.
Really? Who? That's surprising to me, honestly.
Okay, I get it. I've made some mistakes. But how many times do I have to apologize for punching that girl in the face?
Wow.
Okay? If we're being honest, she had it coming. She said Franklin was her favorite cartoon growing up, and I could not let that stand. And
That's
if I
fair.
knew she had polio, I probably wouldn't have done it. Oh, I'm Dantavius, by the way. How you doing? And I wanted to take some of the negative attention off of me by talking about some other controversial internet figures. So I went to the good old Reddit.com and found this here iceberg chart. So we'll start by discussing some well-known controversial internet personalities, and we'll gradually talk about lesser-known people. I'm also going to be skipping a few people like H3H3, Keemstar, and Boogie, because
Why? That's interesting. Why skip those three? That probably would have doubled the length of the video, huh?
I just feel like I've seen so many videos about each of these guys that I have no interest in covering them myself. So let's
fair.
just jump in. Oh, and like and subscribe if you want. I don't care. Logan and Jake Paul. The Paul brothers were known for having a very large fan base of children whose parents didn't pay enough attention to them, and they aggressively advertised merchandise to these young kids.
Buy that merch, buy that merch, buy that merch. Get your merch, link in bio. Yeah, I rep that merch, ooh. Yeah, I rep that merch, ooh.
That was when they were
Okay.
both at the peak of their cringiness.
I don't know. I get that's like a whole conversation to have because like plugging merch for kids. I don't know because like if you get really deep into it, advertising in general is super like kind of invasive and a little bit predatory when you look into like the psychological aspects of marketing. But then at the same time, I mean, like tell the parents to say no. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Tell them to say no.
And since then, they've gone down much different paths. As we all know,
There you
Logan
go.
got
Pop of that
canceled for the
month.
Japanese Forest video. There's no need to go into that because it's been talked about by everyone and their mothers.
True.
These days, Logan Paul has
My mom's
matured a
favorite
lot.
video,
He hosts
honestly.
a very popular podcast, and instead of aggressively and maliciously pushing merch onto his young fan base, he now tries to scam his fans with shitcoins and NFTs.
Another
Yeah, true.
day, another influencer scam, this time from none other than Logan Paul. Yes,
Interesting.
that's right, folks. I also thought he had enough money from boxing with Floyd Mayweather to where he wouldn't need to promote an outright scam, but he did anyways.
Jake Paul
What's really, I think that the more interesting part of that is that doesn't damage their careers. That's the part that's like kind of crazy to me. It doesn't damage their careers to promote NFTs. And that's weird to me because I feel like we know by now that NFTs are horseshit. And so it's just so curious that like nobody really cares. Like their fans are like, yeah, I know they're scamming us, but we don't care. It's like, why don't you guys give a shit about that? It's just super bizarre to me. Because like if I don't know, I guess it's just a chase your bag type of thing, but
on the other hand, is now known for being a professional boxer, and he's gone toe-to-toe with some high-profile boxers, such as guy who isn't tall enough to get on roller coasters, an overweight, washed-up former MMA fighter, a former
Yeah, be
NBA
careful,
player
kick
who's
your
10
ass,
years
bro.
older and 4 inches shorter than him, and an actual boxer, former boxer, who's pushing 40 and also short. But hey, man, he's still undefeated. On that note, I want to humble brag a little bit, okay? Because a lot of you don't know this about me, but I'm also very into boxing, and I also
I knew
currently
that.
hold an undefeated record of 7-0. My opponents
Wow.
include a homeless guy who lives under the bridge by my house, the girl with polio, a Girl Scout who lives down the street,
the girl with polio, what the fuck?
inflatable balloon man, and Ricky Berwick. That last one was
Wow.
actually pretty close. I had to bribe the judges to win that one. Now, this has nothing to do with controversies, but I feel like being a little petty, so I thought I should bring up that it's pretty obvious to most people that Jake Paul lives in his brother's shadow. It's actually kind of hilarious, because Logan is just slightly better than Jake at everything. Growing up, Logan would always
Just
beat Jake
slightly.
at everything when they were younger, and that's something that never changed when they were growing up. For example,
Bro,
Logan...
I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'm never gonna understand the difference between these two people. Like, I'm just never going to, and I think part of it's because I don't care. So I'm just never gonna really like internalize the difference between Jake and Logan Paul.
Paul's height is 6'2". Jake's Paul's height is 6'1". Logan
Wow.
Paul's subscribers 23.4 million. Jake Paul subscribers 20.4 million.
Whoa.
Logan Paul net worth 35 million. Jake Paul net worth 30 million.
Wow.
Logan Paul IQ 71. Jake Paul IQ 69. Nice. Logan even banged Jake's girlfriend, bro. Like that's the ultimate.
I think under 80 is like actually like mentally impaired. It's probably a joke, but I also wouldn't doubt that that was their real IQ. But okay.
Anime betrayal. I also think that over the years, Logan has been able to rehab his image a lot better than Jake as well. Like, remember when Shane Dawson made that 4-part series on Jake Paul trying to convince us he's just misunderstood? But he's not misunderstood at all. Pardon my French. But this guy seems like a real jerk. Oh, and speaking of Shane Dawson, Shane is a YouTube legend. He created his channel back in 2008, and within 3 years, he would have 1 million subscribers, and even more impressively, he somehow managed to maintain relevancy for over a decade, which is pretty much unheard of on YouTube. Like, in 10 years, I'm probably going to be boxing homeless people in the ruins of LA and sucking schlong for nitrous oxide. In the early days, Shane would mostly do comedic skits.
You know what's interesting, though, is that we've all kind of, we all kind of acknowledge that, like, online longevity is not too much of a thing. But I actually think it kind of is. Like, there are people who've been on the platform for a long time. It's just that when they fall off, when they get less traction than they used to, even if they maintain consistency, people are like, oh, you fell off, you're terrible, you're garbage, you're this, you're that. But it's like, bro, you know, like, if you're making a good living, how much does it matter that you fell off compared to the way you used to be? Like, you're never going to maintain the height of your entire life forever. It's this weird expectation, and I feel like when people talk about that, it stresses them out, and it makes them think that they're doing worse than they are, and then they start to disengage from social media, and then they think they're a failure, and it's like this whole, it's like a whole chain. It's bizarre.
Featuring many characters played by Shane, and the most popular one of these characters was Shanae.
Remember that one time when you were like, Mom, get in here, videotape this, and then you started twerking, and then you shit your pants?
Throughout the years, Shane reinvented his content many times. Like, he went from doing blackface to not doing blackface. Like, this guy has a lot of range. No, but seriously, despite his prolificness on YouTube... Prolificness? Is that even a word, bro? Who wrote this? Oh, wait. I wrote this. Nice. Despite his prolificness on YouTube, Shane was involved in many scandals that would eventually bring his career to a screeching halt. Most of these scandals had to do with his previous content or weird comments he made in the past, and it all kind of came up at once. It was like a domino effect. It all started off with previous videos of him in blackface and using the N-word.
Like, here's the reality, and people are going to cry about this, but it seemed like, I think D'Angelo Wallace was the one who kind of brought it up, and I'm not excusing what Shane did, but the reason that Shane got canceled is because he spoke out against James Charles for James Charles having inappropriate engagements, right? And then all of a sudden, like, oh, you're talking, because like it wasn't confirmed at that point, but people were calling him out before it was confirmed. D'Angelo Wallace jumped to James Charles's defense, and then once it came out that what Shane had said was true, all of a sudden the video got removed. So the motivation specifically being to defend James Charles, it makes me feel like, why didn't you care before that? It seemed like nobody cared until they felt like they had to care. And I think that part is like a little shitty. When it comes to the content, Shane Dawson changed his content before he was even called out. And the reality is like, that was what YouTube was. It was an online cesspool of like the worst of the worst, and it was a lot of honestly racist white people, and other racist white people would kind of watch it, because back in the day, like, we didn't give a shit about black people. Today we probably still really don't as much as we should as a society. Well, we definitely don't as much as we should. And so it's just like, to white people, it's like, this is just funny jokes, like saying the N word, especially with an A, haha, funny, that's very silly, very funny, not taking into account the perspective that like a black person would have. And it's taking a substantial amount of time for that to change, and it needs to change obviously more quickly. But back then, like, it's one of those things where it's like action versus intent. Like, you would, I don't think Shane Dawson was trying to upset black people. I just don't think that the black perspective was represented as much as it should have been. And so, like, yeah, people are gonna be like, oh, Papa Gut, you're being a little bit of an apologist for it. But like, the thing is like, I kind of used to be like that guy. Like, I used to get into fucking games with my friends, and we're all white people fucking saying horrible shit to each other. We call each other the N-word. We call each other like the F-slur. We call each other we would call each other, if you knew the things we called each other, you'd be like, wow, like, I didn't even know these were racist terms. Like, that's how bad it was. And that's not excusing the behavior, but it's like, I understand being like socially fucking stupid and ignorant back in the day. And so it's like, yeah, I don't think that listen, I'm just saying, it's just part of it. Has he been canceled a lot of times before Shane Dawson? Okay. I mean, I guess, or before James Charles? Okay. I don't know the specifics about that. I'm just saying, you'd be surprised how normal it was to be like a shitty person on the internet. Like, not even 10 years ago, we've changed rapidly in the past like 5 to 10 years socially. And a lot of people, it's a lot of younger people who I don't think understand that. But even like your favorite creators, like if you're an H3 fan, like you see all the things that he used to say, because like that was just like, oh, it's normal. That's like normal. That was acceptable back in the day. It shouldn't have been, but that's the way things were. Even like your favorite fucking YouTubers were, which is usually white people, they're usually saying some dumb shit. So
Oh, nigga, bitch, monkey woman, you're the
incredible.
best.
From there, more clips started to
Jesus
resurface,
Christ.
like when he made a joke about having coitus with his cat.
The things I've done to my poor animals, they will never love me. The terrible things. I used to...
Oh no, I don't know if you want to go there, Shane. What'd you do?
One time, I laid my cat down on her
Are
back.
you gonna get arrested for this?
I don't know. No.
Think about it.
I don't think so.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't penetrate. I laid the cat down on her back, and then
penetrate.
I moved her little chicken legs, like, you know, spread open or whatever. And I kept going, like, all over the cat.
No, you did
It was
not.
like my first sexual experience.
No
I was also,
way.
like, 19, so it's like, you know, wait a minute.
Wait a second. Did you just say you on a cat?
And you know what? I can forgive all that other stuff. You know, people change, they evolved, he was sorry. But then comes the pedo jokes, and I cannot forgive kid diddling.
I said, oh, I should probably ask what its name is. No, but this child was probably 6 years old. And I was taking a picture of something. And the kid turns to me and goes, oh, are you Instagramming? And first of all, how does a 5-year-old, 6-year-old know what Instagram is? Which is terrifying. And she shows me her Instagrams, which are like, first of all, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but like, she's like sexy. You're disgusting. Here's my justification for pedophilia. So I typed in make booty. First of all, I don't understand why anybody would be turned on by that. But
That's the first good thing you said.
but they were sexy.
Jesus
He
Christ.
also made a joke about
Yeah, I mean, these are pretty edgy jokes. A lot of people are very sensitive to pedophilic jokes. I'm assuming he's joking. It's just incredibly edgy. But I guess I'm a little biased because I remember I made like a joke trying to call out an alleged sexual predator. Or rather, like, I remember I made that joke, if she's old enough to bleed, she's old enough to breed. And then I was like, thank you very much, Andre Lopez, for the advice. Like, the joke was supposed to be Andre Lopez at the time had an allegation that he, like, slept with a 14-year-old or 13-year-old at 14-year-old at 23. So that was like a joking call out, and people, like, lost their shit over it. Which is, people are very sensitive to the jokes, even if they're well-intentioned. So, it's just the reality, bro.
backing off to a picture of Willow Smith, who was 11 at the time. This was so bad that both Jada and Jaden Smith called him out for it. Jaden said on Twitter, Shane Dawson, I am disgusted by you sexualizing an 11-year-old girl who happens to be my sister. It's the furthest thing from funny, and it's not okay in the slightest bit. Jaden then started to blast him for the blackface stuff, and that was basically the final nail in the coffin. Yeah, man, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like incredibly edgy shit. It is interesting listening to that now because Jaden, and don't exactly have the best credibility with how fucking insane they are. So it's interesting. I mean, they have every right to call it out because it's gross, but at the same time, we know Jada's actual moral foundation is horrible dog shit. So it's just something to keep in mind.
How dark your sense of humor is, kid diddling is a hard one to pull off. Like, I don't think Shane is a diddler, but I probably wouldn't go to Chuck E. Cheese with the guy either, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know why I would go to Chuck E. Cheese in general.
Well, I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese. I have to have a kid or take someone else's kid because I just want the pizza and the games, because they were cool, they're nostalgic. But I think if we're acknowledging that you don't think that he actually fucks kids, then like maybe that like the jokes are inappropriate, but like their intentions weren't to promote pedophilia,
General, but whatever. This is hypothetical, and like I said before, everything else.
And it's also interesting that that Jaden called that out, but wasn't the girl who played Catwoman? Didn't she say some inappropriate shit about Jaden? She said some weird shit about how like, oh, he was like 14, she was like 24, and he's like, oh, if he was older, I'd be into that kind of a thing. And it's like, oh, that's uncomfortable. And they were fine with that. Like Jada seemed fine with that. So it's like, why, what are you picking your battles here? It's just interesting.
He could have probably been forgiven for, but there's no coming back from kid diddling, man. After all these controversies, Shane put out a 20-minute long apology video that was so poorly received that he turned off comments and likes. Nice. Following this, he would bleed millions of subscribers and leave YouTube for a year. But it looks like as of October 2021, he's posting again. But he's only getting a fraction of the views he used to get.
I mean, there's like 6 million views. I'll take that fraction. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a fraction of that. Okay? Yeah, Zoe Kravitz was like lusting over him. So, what the hell's going on? Was my mouse broken? Jesus.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would still kill for those views, but compared to what he was getting before, this is bupkis. Whoa, Vicky. We all remember Whoa, Vicky as the girl who talks and acts like a stereotypical ghetto black chick, despite being whiter than my fucking ass cheek.
I feel like that's an interesting... I don't know. She talks like a stereotypical ghetto person. I just feel like assigning like blackness to it is almost racist to an extent. You know what's an interesting argument that I heard? Thomas Sowell, he's like an older black guy. He's a conservative. He had an interesting argument about like black culture in the United States, and he's a conservative, but it was actually very interesting. What his argument was that black people being forced here because of slavery, they were stripped of their culture and their identity. And in turn, they adopted like Southern redneck culture, and that's where like American black culture apparently comes from, and that was his, which is interesting. It's an I've never heard an argument like that before. I guess it explains a lot, because I feel like most conservatives are just like, oh, black people are lazy and they need to better themselves, blah blah blah. But it's like, okay, they've adopted the same culture as like redneck white people, but they're still performing worse. And so like I personally would add like an additional element there of like systemic oppression, because white rednecks didn't exactly experience systemic oppression. I would argue that they probably propagated it more than anything else. But I don't know, I've heard more than just like, I don't know, I grew up in a pretty mixed area, so I guess I saw white, black, Hispanic, ghetto people like this, I guess. So maybe that's just me. I wouldn't assign this just to black people. That might just be my own experience.
She claims that her Ancestry.com shows that she's not actually a white girl pretending to be black, but rather a black woman who looks white.
So like a lot of y'all, I guess y'all,
hey, that's colorism, bro. Okay,
be feeling some type of way because y'all don't really think I'm black, but
okay, well, she thinks she's black.
I was black, so I have the right
what the fuck?
to say that I'm black because I'm like ancestry. All I know is I took the test.
I guess she's the one being racist here, huh?
They said I was black.
Like, listen, man, I'm 2% Italian according to my 23andMe results, and you don't see me walking around talking about gabagool and prosciutto.
Well, you speak like an Italian person, so you are appropriating that 2% of you. But I was gonna say, like, even if she has like fucking 2% black, and wait, I said fucking was weird. Even if she's like 2% black or something, like, there's nothing there. Like I like my dad is like half Jewish, like ethnically, but like I can't really go around and be like unironically I'm a Jewish person. Like I can't identify with any like Jewish oppression. The only thing that looks Jewish about me is probably my beard. Not my beard, like maybe some of my curls on the side of my head or whatever. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those things where, like, what business would I have of identifying as Jewish? It would be the same thing with Woah Vicky. You know, I understand that there are light-skinned like black people, but like she's not black. She doesn't have any black feature outside of like her stereotypical speech that really is her kind of promoting racism, I guess, to an extent. But she probably just grew up in like a more ghetto area, so that's why she does that. And she probably wishes she was black. I guess it gets into a conversation about transracialism, which is a real thing. It just doesn't manifest itself the same way as transgenderism does. I don't know if that's what you'd call it or gender dysphoria. But like usually it's people who are adopted by family members of a different like ethnicity or race or whatever. And then they start to feel like they are that thing. So if she did grow up in like a predominant black area, I mean, she might feel black. That's a whole other conversation. But okay, she said 1%. Holy shit! I'm sure I'm 1% black in some capacity, just in my penis area. You get it? Because my penis is 1% of the size of a normal of a black person's penis.
Moving on. Vicky's real name is Victoria Waldrip. Oh shit, she's got drip in her name?
Nice.
Maybe she is black. No, seriously, Victoria claims that her accent is the result of growing up in the Zone 6 neighborhood of Atlanta, Georgia, which I've heard is one of the most dangerous areas in Atlanta.
I did grow up in the hood, you know what I mean? So like, that's not a joke. I don't know why y'all be...
I didn't grow up in the hood because my mom circumcised me.
Y'all can't listen to what everybody say. Y'all can't listen to what everybody say, because if you listen to what everybody say, then you just gonna let what people, you gonna let them get to, well, I don't let what nobody say get to me.
What the goddamn hell are you talking about?
I grew up in the hood, she says, except that's a lie. Victoria is in fact not from Zone 6, which should probably be no surprise to anybody.
Where's she
in fact,
from?
Her ex-boyfriend claims that she's from a suburb called Buckhead, which is one of the most affluent areas in Atlanta.
You are not from Zone 6, man. You are not. You from Buckhead. That's one of the richest part in Atlanta, bro. Get out of here, bro.
Her father is residential home builder and local real estate mogul Steve Waldrip, and I'm not
Really?
an expert or anything, but I think the only time a real estate mogul goes into the ghettos when they're trying to do some good old-fashioned gentrification.
Probably,
so
yeah.
we can safely assume that Victoria is not from the hood in any way, shape, or form.
Cyberbully tipped $1. Hey, sorry to interrupt, but when you get done streaming, can you raid Yusuf 7N? He's a smaller streamer, but super cool.
Yeah, sure. Just remind me after the stream's over.
So yeah, her hood accent is faker than my New York accent. Cut that part out. In addition to having a fake accent, Vicky is also known for her public feuds with other idiots, one of them being Bad Baby, aka the Cash Me Outside girl, but she's the next entry on this list, so we'll talk about her later. She also had a feud with irrelevant YouTuber and iDubbbz boxing match avoider, Rice Gum, who she actually made a diss song
some
against.
slander. Wow. I'm sorry, that fucking hit me. I was not expecting like incredible amounts of racism. I mean, it's whatever. I don't give a shit about Rice Gum, but I was just not expecting her to do that. That was crazy, bro.
I'm sorry, bro. That's fucked up. That's fucked up, but that's funny. Come on. I'm sorry.
See?
Bad Behavior. Continuing our series of upper middle class suburban white girls who want to be black is Danielle Bergoli, aka
True.
Bad Baby, aka Cash Me Outside Girl. She rose to infamy when at the age of 15 she appeared on Dr. Phil with her mother in a segment titled, "I'm not making this up. I want to give up my car stealing."
Isn't it interesting though? Because like back when I grew up, like that was like the thing. Like I guess you say black culture was like cool. Everybody wanted to say the N-word because they wanted to be cool. They wanted to be included. You know what I mean? And that was just why people were desperate to be black. You know, it's just interesting.
Knife wielding, twerking 13-year-old.
And then honestly, I think that a lot of black people, at least my experience, they thought it was funny when white people tried to act black because they were like, "Wow, what an idiot!" Like you guys remember like Jamie Kennedy, like Malibu's Most Wanted, like that was like the humor, just like dumb fucking white people, like wanksters they called them or whatever, that wanted to be black. Like that was what was funny back in the day. It's so crazy how we've changed so much. But it's fun to make fun of white people who want to be like black or whatever. So.
Daughter who tried to frame me for a crime.
That's what I always do, and they never catch me. Ain't nobody gonna catch me.
Do you have an accent of some sort?
That's where it comes from, you know. From the streets.
Oh. The hoes are laughing?
Catch me outside, how about that?
Huh?
Catch me outside, how about that?
Nice. Catch you outside? What does that mean?
What I just said.
Oh.
It's a very robust title. Anyway.
Damn, how'd you get that in there without getting DMCA'd? I feel like every time I put a Dr. Phil clip in there, it gets DMCA'd.
After this appearance, Dr. Phil sent her ass to the ranch.
Send her to the ranch.
I mean, in Danielle Bergoli's defense, she was 13 when she went on there. And so, like, she was probably going through a phase. Like, we all went through that phase where we thought we were cool. You know, I had an Eminem phase, and my mom took away my Eminem CD, and then she gave me a different one that was censored. You know, and that's pretty much ended the Eminem phase for me. But like, imagine their 13-year-old self is boosted on the internet. And then you get positive attention or you get financial attention for being dumb as fuck, and all of a sudden that's just who you're going to become. So it was really an irresponsible move from the mother to even have her do that in the first place, because like that's really the mom's fault that even happened, if you're being honest here.
Which is actually a real place. Like, I always thought it was just a saying they say in Texas, but no, the ranch is a real place in Utah named Turnaround Ranch. After getting sent to the ranch, Danielle posted a video on her YouTube channel detailing her experiences while she was there. And the video had a lot of accusations of abuse, neglect, and general poor treatment of the kids who were sent.
I just wouldn't doubt it. I remember reacting to it. I don't remember my reaction. It might have been bad, but I would not doubt it. Places like that are full of like fucking like shit. And it's like a fine line because they're probably super strenuous, like in the way that they allow people to interact, which makes sense because you have a bunch of like problematic kids. But the reason that they're problems in the first place is because of shitty parenting. So.
There. But then things would start to turn around for her. After her Dr. Phil appearance, she got signed to Atlanta Records, where she actually had a decently successful rap career before she even turned 18. Then, once she turned 18, she of course started an OnlyFans account, just like every other young girl strives to do, and she made $1 million in just 6 hours.
Wow. Damn.
Society. Completing the bougie white girl trifecta, we got Lil Tay. Now, I'm not going to shit on Lil Tay because she's a literal freaking child. Lil Tay rose to prominence by posting YouTube videos of herself flexing cash and talking like a gangster.
Do you think if I did an OnlyFans, I'd make $1 million in 6 hours? Might take me 7 hours, honestly.
Y'all something. This shit costs more to your rent. My toilet costs more to your rent. Everything
fired.
in my bathroom costs more to your rent. And see, it is my closet. Everything here would be designer.
Listen, that's not a flex to me. I know that you're like, oh, I'm rich. This is called, but like to me, it's like, bro, I like having. I prefer to have low rent. Okay, although I live in New York, so.
Gucci, Louis, Versace.
Eventually, she would be discovered by none other than Rice Gum. And after making a video reacting to her, she began to gain a lot of popularity on Instagram, when in less than a month, she would accumulate over 1 million followers. At this point, she was everywhere, man. She even appeared in a video where Bad Baby tried to fight Woe Vicky.
Tough stuff? Put your bag down, tough stuff. What's up? Come on.
Hey,
what's up? Do something great.
Stop. They ain't gonna do that like that.
Oh, what's up? No, what's up?
No, don't start talking to me.
What's up?
Stop.
Come on, run it, bitch. You're trying to fight? Come on, touch me. I want you to hit me. Hit me, bitch. Hit me. Come on. If you hit me, I'm hit me. I'm right here. I'm right here. You coming out of me, so you hit me.
Damn, man, this is like the Avengers, but for suburban white girls who think they're from Compton. Anyways, Lil Tay got so famous that even Joe Rogan talked about her on his podcast.
Lil Tay is the death of society. Lil Tay.
As her fame started to skyrocket, she
Jesus
started
Christ.
meeting more and more
That's
famous
fucking
people. She
mean.
even did an
Could you imagine being a kid and hearing that from Joe Rogan, dude? I mean, like, that's so sad, dude. That's just sad.
interview with Jake Paul.
I'm flexing on these bitches. Rice gum.
Do you have beef with Rice Gum?
He's talking about a 9-year-old. I don't know who would do that. Like, he's coming out on a 9-year-old. So, like, he's pretty stupid because he's irrelevant. He's trying to get close. So he made a video on me.
Aside from the glitz and the glam, as it would be with many other child media stars, it would turn out that Lil Tay's life had a dark side. It would later come out that Lil Tay's brother created the character of Lil Tay and was basically telling her what to say and how to act. Some people saw this as a form of child abuse, especially when Keemstar showed a video of what seemed to be her brother aggressively coaching her during a video.
Bitch, Lil Tay always got enough money. This shit cost me $2,000. This shit cost me $10,000, and this.
I said stop saying 10,000, 2,000, 3,000, 2,500.
Okay.
Doesn't make any sense. 10,000. Your auntie, Lil Tay gonna fuck your mama, and I'ma smack your auntie. Cause your mama a thought and your auntie ugly as fuck.
I gonna fuck your mama, and I'ma still smack your auntie, cause your mama a thought, and your auntie ugly as fuck.
Absolutely disgusting.
But it turned.
I mean, it's not really that bad. Honestly, like, it's. I mean, like, listen, from what we just saw, it's like, okay, the kid's coaching her. It's not that by itself. Like, it's kind of inappropriate, but it's not like the end of the fucking world. It's just shitty. Like, I don't know. I feel like we're very hyperbolic on the fucking internet.
Turned out later that her mom was also involved in this bit. Her mom was a real estate agent who would use her luxury home listings as well as her boss's luxury cars in Lil Tay's videos. When her employer found out about this, they canned her. Obviously, because you can't be doing that shit, bro. If I did that at my job, I'd probably get sued. She's lucky she only got fired. And not long after her mom got fired, all of her Instagram posts would mysteriously disappear, and she would post a story with just a black screen with the words, "Help me." At this point, everybody thought she either got kidnapped or that her management was trying to rebrand her image. But what actually happened is that her dad filed for sole custody of her and won. Her dad didn't like the fact that Tay was essentially being exploited and made to make this kind of content, and he took custody away from her mother and made her live with him in Canada. The other side of the story laid out by Tay's mother, brother, and Tay herself is that the father is abusive and is trying to take Tay's money for himself. But from what I can tell, those accusations don't hold any water. The only abusive thing he did to her was force her to live in Canada, which is basically a war crime. Fred. I actually made a video about the rise and fall of Fred. Basically, Fred is a character created by Lucas Crookshank when he was 12 years old, and he was known for having a high-pitched voice.
His name was
and
Lucas
extremely annoying
Crookshank?
personality. His mother was also an alcoholic and a pill addict who turned tricks for money. And
Wow.
no, I'm not kidding. That's actually part of the backstory for the character. Anyways, Fred was one of those.
Wait, that's the backstory for the character? That's not his backstory? That's just the character? Why would he make that fucking part of the character?
Extremely popular despite nobody liking it. At one point in time, you might remember that Fred was everywhere. This guy had TV
I thought
shows,
Fred's
movies,
dad was John Cena.
video games. He was doing interviews.
Oh,
He
it's
was begging
both?
your mom. He was getting your girlfriend pregnant, making you raise the baby. Like, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing Fred's ridiculous high-pitched voice. A voice that still haunts my dreams, man. I
Wow.
wake up screaming every night thinking about Fred. Anyway, shortly after the release of Fred 3, Night of the Living Fred, he kind of just disappeared. But Lucas Crookshank, his creator, is still on YouTube posting somewhat consistently, and it looks like he just got his bag and left, which is very respectable. So shout out to Lucas, man. Lucas, if you're watching this.
Lucas Crookshank? Really? Let's see. Let's see if we can find this. Lucas Crookshank. Okay. Yeah, he seems to post every once in a while. I mean, people be like, "Well, you have 3.3 million followers, basically, and you only get 50,000 views." I'd take 50,000 views, bro. Who gives a fuck, bro? Could you imagine the money? Damn. I wish. That'd be incredible. What a world we'd live in, dude. What a world I'd live in.
You deserve a kiss. Oh, you know what, guys? It looks like it's time for my court-ordered anger management counseling session. So while I'm going to that, let's have a word from our sponsor, Morning Brew. Let me ask you something. What's the first thing you do when you get up in the morning? I'm going to take a wild guess and say you're not doing anything productive. In fact, you're probably scrolling through your phone on social media like a brain-dead moron.
Well, that's my job, Dantavius, so you don't have to fucking at me.
Hello?
Hey, Danny. We just got the script back for your ad read. I think
Incredible. Okay.
Morning Brew today. So for this entry, the only research I'm going to do is just going based off the memory of videos I've watched about him, and I'm also going to rewatch iDubbbz'
What is
content
this?
cop
Oh,
on him, which has since been removed from YouTube, by the way. So if you
Leafy.
haven't seen that, make sure you go type it into the Google and watch it. All right, I'm going to try to make this as short as possible, so let's go. Leafy's real name is Calvin Lee Vale. He was born in 1995 with a rare genetic disorder called bitch chin. The disorder is characterized as a grotesque genetic deformity in which a person...
I don't understand. His chin isn't like that small or bad or anything. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. It's weird.
looks like Ed from Ed, Ed and Eddie. Other side effects of this condition
don't
include
diss Ed, dude.
covering the bottom half of your face in photos, lacking a moral compass, and making some of the most terrible content possible by a human being. As for his YouTube career, he started making Minecraft
Jesus
videos in
Christ.
2011, which then transitioned to CSGO videos. And
I mean, like Leafy was like, I think he was quite edgy and a bit cringy and a bully, but like, Jesus, going hard on this fucking guy. What the fuck?
at some point, he turned his attention to doing good
I haven't seen it from the side. Okay.
old-fashioned YouTube commentary. He
Oh, maybe he he just hated people saying that. Okay, that makes sense.
actually spawned a whole new subgenre of commentary where people would lazily share their horrible dogshit opinions over gameplay footage. And Leafy was pumping out a lot of these videos, man. No one was
good for
safe
him.
from his wrath. Fat people, autistic people, mentally disabled people, it didn't matter. Leafy
Hey,
was
what's the difference? Those are all the same thing, am I right, guys?
on all of them.
Yo, is this person fucking retarded? I'm not trying to be a dick.
But after a while,
Yeah, that's just like a low blow. I thought he was just making fun of. I didn't think it was that bad. That's just like shitty. Why call it like a little girl with Down syndrome? That's just like gross. Like, yes, and I'm here for some edgy, fun jokes, but Jesus Christ, no, that was maybe that was just the worst of it, guys. Maybe that was a one-time thing.
public opinion would really start to turn against him when he made a video titled The Most Heroic Fedora Man on the Internet, where he bullied an autistic man named Tommy NC 2010 for 10 minutes straight.
Subscribe, support, stay positive.
Play that one more time, please. Just one more time.
Subscribe, support, stay positive. You know?
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, this is pretty bad. Yeah, Leafy sucks, bro. The fuck?
Oh my god. That's this motherfucker's intro.
Tommy would respond to Leafy with the video of his own, where he was in tears talking about how he was receiving death threats from Leafy's idiot fan base.
I'm having a difficult time right now because some people are threatening my life, threatening my family, and all I wanted to do was inspire people. Some Leafy guy or Team Starred people are threatening me.
Would Keemstar also call him Team Star? Did Keemstar do like the same shit? I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. The fuck?
And all I wanted to do was inspire. That's all.
So this behavior would go on for a while until a lot of other YouTubers started to heavily criticize Leafy. Most famously, iDubbbz' Content Cop. And as I said a little bit earlier, this video has since been deleted off of YouTube due to bullying, which is ironic. But
wait, my thing is didn't Ethan also criticize Leafy and then walk it back? Am I wrong about that? Because that was like weird. Oh, I didn't even know I could fly here. Because that part is like the weirdest. Like, why did he walk it back? I think he got like criticism from his fan base, but like, who cares?
if you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you watch it because it's a piece of YouTube history. Anyways, in this video, iDubbbz spanked Calvin's ass so hard that he stuck his head in the sand for about 3 years and didn't make any videos. But then in 2020, he would make a triumphant comeback that only lasted a few months because his account would get deleted the same year for harassment. Now, the exact
Harassing
reason for the ban isn't
Queen
known, but most people think
Pokimane.
it's because he released a bunch of videos about Pokimane. But who knows, man. Shortly after, he would get banned from Twitch and Twitter as well, and that's pretty much where we are today. Rebecca Black. Who doesn't remember Rebecca Black, man? Just in case, let me refresh your memory. She's famous for one thing and one thing alone. In 2010, Rebecca's mom knew that her daughter was meant to be a star, so she paid a production company $4,000 to write, produce, direct, and film a music video for her little girl. The resulting video went absolutely stupidly viral, but probably not for the reason she was hoping. I mean, we've all heard the song. It's fucking awful.
It only costs $4,000. Wow, if that's all it takes to be famous, you know. That's what I'm gonna do next, dude.
I think I'm telling tales out of school here. Now, you and I, we're normal people, right? Well, I am. I don't know about you. You might be a fucking freak, but I'm a pretty normal guy. So I look at this song and I think to myself, man, that's cringe.
It is catchy.
And hilarious. But other people saw this
So,
song.
fun fact: I was actually 150 million of the views. So I just would listen to it on repeat.
And were filled with prime.
If only you could see my Spotify end of the year recap.
Primal rage. Like, this girl was getting death threats. She was getting bullied. People were telling her to go off herself and all sorts of horrible things. And it's like, why can't you just enjoy the cringe, man? It's funny. It's not that serious. Since the song came out, she's gone on to release a bunch of other songs, and honestly, they're not bad. Like, I listened to a few recent ones, and they're not bad at all.
She kind of looks like Demi Lovato, but not the Demi Lovato version. You know what I mean? It's interesting.
Is it my cup of tea? No, but it's not as horrible as you'd expect considering, you know, the first song she put out. Onision, aka Greg Jackson, has had more videos made on him than probably any other person on the internet aside from Chris Chan. He's a very fascinating person, and the more I learn about him, the more I wonder to myself, how is this guy not in prison? Now, before we get into all that, let's do a little bit of background. Onision has been on YouTube since the very beginning. He created his first channel in 2006 and shot to fame because of a video he made 12 years ago titled simply, I Am a Banana.
I'm a banana! I'm a banana! I'm a banana! I'm a banana! Look at me!
And let me tell you, he...
Just so you guys know, okay? We just need to understand that all emo guys are predators, okay? It's true. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows that. Okay? Just keep that in mind, bro. It's true. It's true.
Really coasted off this video for a while. To this day, it remains the most popular video he's ever put out, and he re-uploaded it multiple times. It even got him on Tosh.0. So, as you can see, this guy's weird. And not in a charming, quirky way like me, but in a creepy, probably has a leather jacket made of human skin way. He was a mainstay on YouTube, posting hundreds of videos
probably
across
not human skin, but children's skin, possibly.
multiple channels for over a decade.
And yeah, children aren't human, okay? Children are fucking losers. Is that the right way? I don't know.
And during this time, he was involved in more controversies than probably anybody else on YouTube. If I went through all of them, this video would probably be 14 hours long. So I'm just going to list a few of the more egregious ones. In 2005, Onision married Sky Torta?
Sky Jackson.
Tortuga? She would appear in many of his videos while they were together, which was not long, because they got divorced in 2010. Soon after the divorce, Greg posted a video to YouTube where he filmed his house after an alleged break-in, which he claimed was done by his now ex-wife. Oh, and the break-in was very obviously staged. Like, this shit was faker than $10 titties.
Hey guys, I'm making this video to document what I came home to today. Sky's sister called, and she said that she wanted to pick up some of Sky's clothes with her, so I told him where the key was to get that.
Is this real? He actually put this banana song in the background while he did this? Like, what? So this is supposed to be a serious video, and he's like, you know what would get this more views? If I put my I'm a Banana song in the background. That'll definitely set the tone in a very favoring way. Okay.
House, and I assumed that they were just going to take clothes. Well, I walked through the door today, and this is what I found. Okay, here's crap all over the ground.
Oh no.
That wasn't there. Where's my $1,400 Google TV? Where is that? Where did my Google TV go?
And this would be the first in a list of bad relationships. The second being with a woman named Shiloh Hergensen, who is a Canadian singer and songwriter. Over the course of their relationship, Shiloh suffered from a number of episodes of memory loss and seizures, which Onision exploited for views instead of getting her help.
The fuck?
You said you want to make a rainbow? Yeah. Why aren't you looking at the camera?
What the fuck?
Do you know what my name is? Shiloh?
And that wasn't the only time he did that shit. He literally posted multiple videos of her having episodes or straight up convulsing from a seizure. After a while of this, the couple split for a few months, but then they got back together. During their reunion, Onision made a video titled Our Child, where he announced that Shiloh was carrying his spawn, but he would later state in an update video that she miscarried. During Onision and Shiloh's breakup, Onision...
Interesting. I wonder if they actually did have a child, or if that was just for attention. I mean, if they... Dude, what a... Wait, that's weird. I'm wondering if they just did it as like, or he just did it as a performance piece because it seems like he had full control over her. And then I wonder if she actually did get pregnant, and if she didn't, did he tell her that she did get pregnant? Like, and how did that impact her, like, potentially, like, mental health wise? Like, imagine he just told her she was pregnant. He's like, she'll forget anyway. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be really fucked up.
Had a brief fling with another girl named Adrienne Jorgensen, who posted a letter on the internet detailing her relationship with him. And surprisingly, the dude who comes off as a complete psychopath is a complete psychopath. She said that he manipulated her,
she got
gaslit her,
sepsis? That's
pressured
what
her
it
into
was.
doing sexual things she wasn't comfortable with, and then he basically forced her to have coitus with him. And surprisingly, when this letter came out, Onision calmly addressed the controversy with class and sophistication and apologized to Adrienne for his behavior. Nah, I'm kidding. He called her a whore. He stated, and I quote, "She slept with more than 20 people before she was with him. She is a slut, therefore cannot be picked." That comment would eventually get him banned from VidCon in 2020.
He really said that? He said that a girl with a high, but you just can't get raped if you have a high body count? Jesus Christ, like, what a fucking loser. I mean, that sounds like he's probably a rapist. You know, incredible.
12. And then 50 controversies later, shit really started to hit the fan when he dated a fellow YouTuber named Taylor Anderson, aka Lanybot, who he would later marry. The first screwed up thing that Greg did was
I seriously wonder, why would she date him after he said that? Like, that feels like an incredible red flag to me. Like, feeling like, yeah, you know, if you're a woman that has had sex with a lot of guys, you then, like, you can't get raped. Like, what? That's a pretty big red flag to me. Interesting. I'm just saying.
Was force her to date another woman, even though she really didn't want to. Him and his wife allegedly groomed multiple underage girls, and they actually adopted a 15-year-old girl named Sarah that lived with them for a while. Later, during an interview, Sarah claimed that she was essentially being groomed.
They were like giving me so much attention, and I was so young and so infatuated with them, and so it made me feel so special and like, oh my gosh, like this is like meant to be. They're so nice, and I kind of just looked up to them in a way.
There was a young woman there who was essentially their foster daughter. They had filed for legal guardianship of her, and she admitted to me that whenever they first started talking, her and Lainey, that they had previous discussions where they were flirting back and forth, where they had discussed being in a relationship in the future potentially, and she admitted this to me at 15, which means that these conversations that they had happened previous to that, even younger than when she was 15.
Nothing inappropriate happens, I guess, outside Dad Booty Doe comments prior to her turning 18. But once she said, I'm only going to sign this NDA if you sleep with me, was the clear message there.
So she pressured them, obviously. It wasn't the other way around.
We felt pressured, like we had no choice, because I remember that comment prior of her saying she could ruin my life if she wanted to.
So they had sex so that she would sign the NDA so that in case she came out with things about Onision, he could sue her, basically, or go after her legally.
So we slept with her. I slept with her, and she performed oral on Kai. I actually slept with Sarah, like, 100%.
Even if what they didn't do was technically...
I'm just genuinely curious about Augie's position there. I mean, I don't know if he was like just being sarcastic and the context was missing, or if he actually thought that was like a real thing. Not enough context to even know really, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. Even if let's just say that she said let's say that's even true, which I doubt it is. Let's say that she was like, I'll only do this if you sleep with me. Like, after what? After you adopted them? After you adopted this person so that you could what? It doesn't even make sense. And then why would you do it? Why would you sleep with them? Why would you need to? It doesn't even make sense. Why wouldn't you just say no? Obviously, that's like the dumbest fucking like moronic lie I've ever seen. The whole thing is stupid.
Illegal. They should still understand that what they did is not by any means morally correct. It
True,
just
yeah.
blows my mind that they don't understand what they're doing is wrong. And I think Kai did know what he was doing is wrong, but Greg just has no moral compass.
That's when Chris Hansen stepped in. Chris started his own channel and started to bring awareness of Onision's crimes to a wider audience. And Chris was not messing around, man. He was really bringing down the hammer on Onion. He even went to his house to try to talk to him.
It's this one, right?
911, what are you reporting?
Hi, there's a person who's been stalking me online, and they just showed up to my house.
Okay, and they're outside now?
Yes, they're knocking on my door.
Okay. And do you know if they have any weapons?
They have a bunch of camera people, like they're YouTube stalkers.
Okay, but no weapons seen?
I didn't see any weapons. I just saw like 6 guys in my driveway, and one of them was knocking on my door.
And the one that's knocking on your door, is he the main one that you said isn't stalking you?
Yes, he's a stalker. He's yelling things at me through the door right now.
Okay, and do we know his name at all?
It's Chris Hansen.
After all this negative attention, Onision got his YouTube channel demonetized, got his Twitch banned, and even got his Patreon banned. He was basically...
I remember the Twitch ban part. I remember that. I remember talking about it. Because I noticed it, and I was like, how the fuck is this guy, like, verified? This was a while ago. And it turned out the reason he was verified was because he had it verified a long time ago. He just never really used it. And so I like to think, even if I'm wrong, that I was part of the reason why he got deplatformed on Twitch a little bit, or at least I brought awareness to it a little bit, you know. So that makes me feel good about myself. And if I'm wrong, don't ruin my delusion, okay? Let me feel good about myself.
Basically banned on every.
Because that's when I was like large on TikTok and I called it out. So maybe I did something, or maybe I didn't do anything. But who fucking knows?
Media platform, and he did not take that well.
You tried to do the FBI, didn't work. You tried to do the police, didn't work. So instead, you resort to the paycheck, and you got it. You got it. All my patrons have been deleted.
I know how, like, in all honesty, like I know how Onision could probably like get a lot of negative attention off of him. Because I've been thinking about it a lot. Like, what could Onision do? Like, you know, for him to get a lot of the negative attention off and actually be seen as like the good guy. He could probably kill himself, and I think a lot of people would be like, "Wow, he did one good thing in his life." Obviously that's a joke, guys. Okay, I would never advocate for that. And if you watch this, hopefully Onision, that doesn't mentally stress you out, because of course we would never want that to happen. Like, that would be horrible. Like, I would never wish that on anybody at all, because that's not the right thing to do, guys. You know what I'm saying? So, just saying, bro.
Are you happy? No!
Bro, grow up, literally. It's like weird emo bullshit.
Is this what you want, huh? Is this what you want a total meltdown? I love kombucha! Drinks like pee and smells even worse! Oh, my Patreon's deleted! My Patreon! What am I gonna do?
Man, this guy really thinks his life is a movie. Anyways, to my knowledge, he hasn't posted anything in a while, which is fantastic news. Honestly, there's so much to this story, and there's thousands of
I think he has a TikTok, or he's been posting like a little bit here and there on like Onision.com or something.
Videos and multiple documentaries. So if
that
you're
guy's
interested in the
kids.
topic, go watch some of that stuff. Marina Joyce is a British vlogger and beauty YouTuber who was known for her quirky and bubbly personality.
Hey you, I don't think we've ever met before. This is something new. Anyway, hi, my name's Marina Joyce. What's your name?
I already don't
As
like
time went on, Marina was able to cultivate a decent-sized following, but at one point her fans started to realize that she began to act different and not like herself.
Okay.
People speculated that she was either sick or suffering from depression or even on drugs, and this would come to a head when she posted this video, Date Outfit Ideas.
I'm advertising their clothes, so this is me just advertising their clothes, and yeah, I love you guys so much.
Aside from acting weird, in the video you can see a guy pointing a finger randomly in some shots.
I don't know what I want to play. Do I have like a... Okay.
Also, you can vaguely hear her whisper, "Help me."
And this is the dress that I'm wearing.
After this video dropped, the hashtag #SaveMarinaJoyce started trending, and people were coming up with all sorts of theories and scenarios of what was going on with her. The main one being that she was kidnapped and forced to make videos. She then made a video addressing these concerns, saying that the reason for her odd behavior was indeed depression.
All these videos that you watch about me, about people guessing what happened to me, I think if you see somebody saying something horrible about somebody, that just shows you who that person is. I simply don't want you to believe any of the conspiracy theories because none of them are true, and I can promise you that. It's always best to believe the truth directly from the person themselves. I did suffer from depression. It was so bad. It hurts me to this day to think of all the reckless things I did that showed that I did not care about my life. Things that I would look back upon and feel so grateful to this day that I am still alive. I was heartbroken, truly unhappy. All I can do is tell you how I felt and that I was suffering badly. I didn't think anybody really cared about me truly until they made Saving Marina Joyce. And don't believe any of the conspiracy theories. They're literally all lies. I don't even know how all those conspiracy theories started, but yeah, just ignore them. I hope this got the truth across enough as possible for you to understand what I was going through and that I was going through a hard time and that I'm getting better now.
After a while, the mystery kind of died out and she continued making videos like normal. That is until 2019, when on August 7th, Marina would be reported missing, and she was missing for about 9 days. During her disappearance, her boyfriend was accused of kidnapping her or holding her hostage. He would then post this message on Instagram saying that she was in fact safe and sound and that she would make a video explaining her disappearance. But as far as I know, she never explained it, like the video never came out, and things would only get weirder when she would later tweet this out: "I never went missing in the first place. Also, Brandon has been so loyal throughout all this, so don't trust anybody but him when somebody says something, because he's the one who knows everything and is my closest and protects me more than any other person out there." Usually with internet conspiracies, people want it to be true because they're so bored and unfulfilled in their life. But, you know, in
True.
reality, she's probably just suffering from some mental issues and struggling to deal with it. Another possibility is that she's in an abusive relationship, which definitely sounds a lot more plausible than the kidnapping theory. Sam Pepper, aka Scam Pepper, was one of the worst pranksters on YouTube, and with company like Vitaly, FuzzyTube, and Joey Salads, that's really saying something. Let's take a look at some of his work. His most popular video is How to Make Out with Strangers.
Same. What? Why do you mute
I think it should go without
audio?
mentioning that, you know, all of his pranks are fake. And as it goes with most of these fake prank channels, in order for Sam to keep growing his channel, he had to keep doing wilder and wilder pranks, which eventually culminated in the famous fake hand ass prank.
Excuse me, sorry to bother you. Do you know where the Apple store is? Like, I don't know if it's that way or...
I don't know, I'm not really from. What the hell?
I think...
What the fuck?
Did
No.
you just... What?
Oh my god.
What happened?
I don't know. What the fuck was that?
I think that little old lady pinched your palm. Anyway, nice to meet you.
Oh my god. I don't like that. I don't like that.
I'm sorry.
I don't like that.
Excuse me.
I wonder if that was real or like staged. I mean, either way, it's setting like a bad example. But I mean, did he actually touch this girl's butt like that? Like that'd be fucking creepy as shit.
Did I just catch you disrespecting women? Anyways, this video was taken down by YouTube after 2
I'm
days,
scared.
and Sam would issue an apology, but this would pretty much be the beginning of the end for him. Following this prank, several women would accuse Sam of sexual assault, including Marina Joyce, who I mentioned in the last entry. And then probably the nail in the coffin was the kidnapping prank.
Kobe is in on the prank, and Sam is getting pranked.
I remember this.
Let's see how he reacts to his best friend of 5 years being killed in front of him.
Jesus Christ! I'm sorry, but like what a prank! That's an incredible prank. That's incredible. Okay, okay. Wow, he farted right on his head.
Oh my dude, you just got pranked. Bet you didn't see that one coming, huh? Fuck you, you just got pranked. Yo! Pranked, baby.
Yeah, this psycho staged the
Wow, incredible.
kidnapping and execution of the other guy's friend. And they say British people are more...
Was the friend in on it though? Because that's obviously shitty for the friend as well to do that. That's an epic prank. You know what I mean? That's an epic prank, really. Jesus Christ, holy shit.
Classy. After this, he would remove all his videos and rebrand himself as a vlogger, and then an IRL streamer who collabed with Ice Poseidon a lot. He also posted clips to TikTok.
I recently won the lottery, as some of you know, so today I headed over to Thailand to do some island shopping. I have a budget of around 10 million.
Most recently, Sam Pepper has become an international criminal. So, just in case you guys don't remember or you didn't hear about it last year, a bunch of content creators were shilling a cryptocurrency which was known as Save the Kids token, which was supposed to donate money to charity upon each transaction. But once people started buying the token...
I think the problem is that it was just like Save the Kids token day, and everybody thought it was like... Everybody thought he was being serious, but he was just pranking you. So realistically, you guys are the problem. Like, he was just making a funny, like, joke, prank, silly meme, you know? It gay, bro. It literally is just a prank. Like, you guys are stupid. Not his fault that you guys didn't realize it was just a prank.
And inflating the price, the influencers who were shilling the coin all sold their portion and made off with a bunch of money, while all their other poor schmuck fans who bought in were left with bupkis. And that's what's known as a rug pull. The token then disappeared without a trace. So this was blatant fraud, and Sam claimed that he wasn't aware, even though he sold all his coins right after it was made public, right when it was peaking. After this, he fled the US and went back to England, where he hopefully stays forever. A jit pie. You guys remember the net neutrality debate that happened a few years
that's where all the worst people in the world are, in fucking England. So, yeah, go over there. Stay there, you fucking loser. To all my English fans, fuck you! I'm just kidding.
back, just in case you don't, net neutrality is the principle that internet service providers must treat all internet communications equally and not charge users different rates based on content, website, or platform. With net neutrality, ISPs may not intentionally block, slow down, or charge money for specific online content. Without net neutrality, ISPs may prioritize specific types of traffic, meter others, or potentially block traffic from specific services while charging consumers for various tiers of service. This dickhead, this schmuck with the shit-eating grin, made it his life's mission to undo net neutrality in the name of deregulation. So instead of having the internet regulated by the government, he wanted it to be regulated exclusively by profit-hungry ISPs. For more than a decade, it's been Mr. Pie's life's mission to repeal net neutrality. first giving a speech about it in 2012 during a testimony before Congress. In 2007, Pai began his career with the Federal Communications Committee, or FCC. And can you guess where he worked before that? Verizon Mother-Sucking Wireless. And I'm guessing the checks didn't stop flowing when he left, if you know what I mean. In 2017, Donald Trump appointed him as chairman of the...
You know, I kind of liked Verizon. I mean, that's the service I use for my cell phone service. I mean, they're expensive, but they're pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind them. I don't mind them. You know, if they want to remove my internet freedom, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, I don't care about that. That's inconsequential to me. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that, you know?
FCC, where he would get right to work repealing net neutrality. Nice. But first, he had to try to get people on his side with some good old-fashioned propaganda. But not good propaganda, mind you. This is the video he released to try to get people on his side.
I'm Ajit Pai. I'm the chairman of the FCC. Recently, there's been quite a bit of conversation about my plan to restore internet freedom. Here are just a few of the things you'll still be able to do on the internet. You can still gram your food.
Not allowed at all.
Quality. Without real selfie, or just... You can still post photos of cute animals, like puppies.
That's all I care.
You can still shop for all your Christmas presents online. Like a bulk deal on fidget spinners. Yes! Those Eclipse glasses are so cheap!
This is the cringiest thing I've ever seen. Anybody who voted to repeal net neutrality after watching this video deserves to be castrated. Anyways, Ajit left his post at the FCC in 2020, and he now makes rise and fall videos on YouTube.
No, he
does.
Does he really?
I did an entire Iceberg video on this guy, so I'm not going to dive too deep into him. Go watch that if you're interested. When this video's over, all right? Finish this video first, or pause it and watch that one, but come back to this one, all right? Just watch this video, you schmuck. Alinity is a very popular Twitch streamer. Now, there are 3 types of Twitch streamers. First, there's people who are good at video games. Secondly, you got people who are entertaining. And thirdly, you have attractive women who cultivate a large following consisting of mainly horny men with no social skills and 12-year-olds whose parents check their search history. Alinity falls into the 3rd category. To be honest, I don't think I've ever watched Alinity or any streamers really. I think most Twitch streamers are dog shit. Except for me, of course.
Wow, that's not very nice, bro. I can't believe that you'd be so fucking mean to me. I thought we were friends, Dantavius, you piece of shit.
Oh! This kid's parents, he's vaping! Come get your son, he's fucking vaping! Dude, you know what vape does to a person, bro?
You really shouldn't be streaming Omega on Twitch, though, because that's like that's a fast track to failure. If anything, you should put your screen, your face, your extra face, like your Twitch face, I guess you call this, and this is the only one, over this so that, you know, at least instantly, so you can know what's going on. Maybe you do that, I just don't know.
Look at me! Look at me!
Oh, he was making a joke about how that guy is internet a J. I missed the joke. Wow. Incredible. Incredible stuff, guys. I missed the internet a J joke. Okay, very funny. Now that I understand it, it's very funny. I just happened to miss the joke. A very rare miss for Papa God.
Fake down!
Yeah, fake fan. Absolutely.
Throw it away! Throw it away!
Oh, you're really doing this, huh?
I'm sick of this shit. Stop that!
What the fuck? Get me out of here.
Stop fucking vaping, bro! So I got curious and decided to watch a stream of hers. Now, I'm not going to play a full clip of the stream because I don't want to get copy striked. But 5,000 concurrent streamers are watching this chick watch Hoarders and saying a comment like every 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's Twitch streaming, bro. That's what I do every day. I watch Hoarders and I fart. I don't know.
Their rights. We've been overindulgent in this case. What's happening is the rights of their neighbors are being affected.
Alabama. How do you say it?
Andy and Becky
Alabama?
are my backyard neighbors.
What the fuck?
I've seen the otters move things from...
Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to come off like only Alinity or only women do this shit, because there's plenty of men on Twitch who get millions of views for absolutely no reason. Like Mizkif, alright? He seems like a perfectly nice guy. He seems cool and everything, but most of the time he's just sitting around eating fucking cereal watching videos about him. Same thing with Adam Ross. Like, what do they...
Dude, what the fuck? This was a perfect opportunity for Hassan slander, dude. Why'd you stay out of the Hassanosphere? My wife just laughed and it's scary. What the fuck's happening? Why'd you laugh? Okay, send it to me. She saw a TikTok. She thought that was very relatable, so she laughed like a goblin witch.
They do? What do these guys do? Help me make sense of this. It boggles my mind. Now, Alinity got into a bit of hot water a few years back when she tried to, as she says, copy strike PewDiePie for calling her a Twitch thought in a video.
Stupid
Alinity.
Twitch thoughts.
Is Alinity the girl that I had asked if she was trans and then she banned me out of her chat? Who is that? Am I thinking of... No, who's the... I think that was the girl who said something about how people need to give her Twitch subs or they're losers or something. I don't know who that was. I forget who that was. I don't know.
I just feel like they win over me, okay? And they're not gonna win over me. Stupid Twitch thoughts. No.
Seriously? He just said that? I'm gonna copy strike this guy. Just for that word. Gonna copy strike him. Yo!
I mean, you probably shouldn't do that, but like that is shitty for him to just call her a stupid Twitch thought, so.
Can we copy strike PewDiePie's latest video? Like right now? He called us Twitch thoughts.
She then proceeded to brag about copyright claiming people for using her content. This altercation led to a back and forth between her and PewDiePie, but eventually they would squash the beef. But this wouldn't be the end of Alinity being a douchebag. I'm gonna kind of run through these quickly. In 2019, she threw a cat over her shoulder. The cat died on impact. No, I'm joking.
I was about to say, Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, if the cat did die on impact, that's kind of the cat's fault. You know what I mean? Like, cats are supposed to be, like, flexible and land on their feet. So if the cat doesn't land on its feet, it's broken anyway. And then you got to bring it to the vet to fix its inability to land on its feet. It's like, it's not worth it. It's a cat. You might as well just kill it at that point. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's a test you're supposed to do with all your cats, is to see if they land on their feet. She's actually doing what you're supposed to do. You guys just don't know about that because you're bad pet owners, okay?
The cat was fine, but apparently this wasn't the only time she did something stupid to her pets. There was another clip that resurfaced of her feeding her cat vodka, which is toxic to cats, I guess. She also got slammed for allegedly saying the N-word, but if you watch the full clip, she didn't actually say it. People were just piling on because they didn't like her, which is wrong. Oh, and then she admitted to basically committing immigration fraud by marrying a guy and divorcing him after getting citizenship.
So I went to medical school in Colombia.
Like, to be honest with you, none of these really, who cares? Like, yeah, okay, yeah, you shouldn't commit fucking, what is it called, immigration fraud to get into America or whatever, but like, also, who cares? I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. I'd want to live here too. You know, you shouldn't do those things. It's just like people who come across the border illegally. Like, you shouldn't do those things, and obviously we have to deal with that. But you know what? I get it. I'm personally not going to stop you. You know what I mean? But I get that we need strong borders to maintain our country's like strength and whatnot. But I get it, bro. So like, why the fuck do I care about this? Truthfully, I feel like the cat thing was kind of shitty. Even if she said the N-word, like, that's obviously shitty, but like every white person, or well, I mean, I guess she's white passing, to fucking says it back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, it would be more difficult to find somebody who didn't say it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, bro. That would be harder to do. I mean, oh, this person said the N-word. I was like, okay, are they white? Yeah, okay, yeah, of course it did. You know what I mean? Like, it's just this fucking honest. Honestly, you know, it's the truth.
And
oh, it's Canada? Well, still, Canada's good too.
Like, you
it's
don't
all
make
right.
any money. You work a lot. So I was like, no, hell no. So I married a Canadian.
Okay.
And I came to Canada. And then I divorced him.
This caused multiple people to report her to the Canadian government, but it turned out that her husband is the one who cheated on her and actually filed the divorce, not her. Then comes the...
Wow, so she was just making a joke about her traumatic experience, and you guys tried to get her removed from Canada? Wow, dude, you guys are pieces of shit. Jesus Christ. You know what's weird though? If you don't like a content creator, why don't you just stop watching them and instead of trying to cancel them constantly? Like, I understand that there are some people who like need to be like legitimately canceled, mostly like predators, pedophiles, people like that. But like when it comes down to somebody you just really don't like, why just don't watch them anymore? You know what I mean? I don't know. It just seems weird. Like, call them out, of course, and then just, well, why make up stuff?
Infamous nip slip video where she accidentally showed her left nipple.
Nice. You're not gonna show us, dude? Come on.
Now, I've watched this about 500 times, you know, just for research for this video, and I can indeed say that the nipple was indeed shown for a split second. Now, showing any kind of nudity on Twitch would result in an automatic ban. That is, unless you're Alinity, because Twitch did absolutely nothing. Not only in this instance...
Well, why should they have, though? If it was an accidental nip slip, like, why should she get fucking banned for that? I don't understand.
But there were numerous other times when she could have gotten banned but didn't, like the cat throwing incident, for example. This led to people claiming that Twitch showed favoritism to her, with some even going so far as to say that she was sucking people off at Twitch, and that's why she wasn't getting in trouble, which doesn't make any sense. Like,
Sounds a little sexist. Okay.
Pretty sure she lives in Canada, so what is she doing? Flying out to Twitch?
Because other people do? Yeah, but those people shouldn't have gotten banned. You know what I mean? Like, those people shouldn't have gotten banned, and neither should she have. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be that she should get banned.
Headquarters and sucking off some dude and then flying back? Come on, bro. Be logical. And,
Maybe he would fly out
I gotta
there,
give her a little
you know,
bit of credit. You know, since all of her controversy, she's kind of flown under the radar. She's chilled out a little bit. She seems a bit more humble, so shout out to her. Austin Jones was a YouTuber and singer-songwriter who had a promising career in music. He was known for doing these a cappella videos where he would do covers of popular songs.
A cappella? That's why he got canceled? The fuck is my team, bro? Do some damage, bro. Oh, wait. They just didn't want to damage.
My father took me into the city to see our marching band.
And eventually made his own original music. His first EP hit number 12 on iTunes pop charts, and he started touring and selling out shows. Now, Austin stated that his biggest inspiration was Elvis Presley. In fact, he wanted to be like Elvis so bad that he picked up one of Elvis's favorite pastimes, hooking up with underage girls. In 2017, it was discovered that Austin had been in contact with multiple underage women, okay? And I'm not talking...
Like, how old was he and how old were they? It's just like the first question I always ask, because some people like to throw this claim around and it's somewhat baseless. And, you know, just like the Call Me Carson situation. Like, where people were baselessly throwing around that he was some kind of like a pedophile. Elvis was a pedo? Probably not. Let me look into it really quick right now. Let's see. Underage girls. So what's most likely true is that Elvis would probably talk to girls that were like, oh wow, there's 3 14-year-old girls. Wow. Tickle and kiss him. Presley also dated several minors, including he was 15 when they dated. Presley was 22. Okay, so she was 20. She was 15. He was 22. Yeah, I mean that's shitty, but that honestly is a lot more normalized back in the day. I mean, this is a whole conversation to have about like my healer not catching up with me. He's a fucking idiot. Oh no, it's actually me who's the fucking idiot. Anyway, like this kind of stuff is more socially acceptable back then. It doesn't make it right. It just kind of shows you like how disgusting we were as people back in the day. And how we still like have a lot of room to change, and you know, obviously have set better social standards so that it doesn't normalize like men doing that. Because like a fucking 22 and 14 is gross. Back then, nobody gave a shit. It's just kind of the reality, honestly. The perspective of a lot of people, it's a very normalized perspective for a lot of them, especially older men in now's generation. Is like, who really cares how old they are as long as they look mature? That's literally it. Oh, okay, well they look mature, so that's okay. That's all it really is. There's no they don't take into account the mental perspective of somebody who's fucking 14 years old. So
a month away from turning 18. I'm talking 14, 15.
What do you mean it was normalized? No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. Shut up. Just shut the fuck up. Can you just not talk sometimes? Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but when I'm telling you something, like, yes, that was more normalized back then. Like, that's just what it was. Men were shitty. And you're just, no, it wasn't, because I'm 14. And what are you talking about, bro? Why do you guys always do, like, it just annoys me when, like, a kid comes into the chat, and you're like, that's not true. I'm 14, and I never experienced that. Incredible. Well, great. Thank God your 14-year-old life experience has brought you to the point here where you can contest a really big issue, which has been historically men taking advantage of fucking young girls. But thank God you're here to just tell us that never happened. I mean, like, I just don't understand. It was so normal, especially for fucking rock stars. What are you yelling for? Why are you screaming? What? Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God. Fucking wife's in here just laughing at me.
15 years old, okay? He would contact these girls who were fans of him online and convince them to twerk for him. He would give them instructions and directions, and then he would record the act. Now, let's be honest, there's a very low chance that somebody with this haircut
I missed how old they were.
Directions, and then he would record the act. Now, let's be honest, there's a very low chance that give them old, okay? He would contact these girls who were fans of him online and convince them to twerk for him. That somebody with this haircut isn't diddling kids. Like, this mother sucker had that "can I speak to the manager" cut, bro. After these allegations surfaced, Austin released a video entitled "Setting the Record Straight," in which he would proceed to not set the record straight at all.
But at least you will have your opinion based off of the full story and the truth. I've recently come under some fire on social media for mistakes I've made in the past. I used to ask fans for twerking videos. Yes, twerking, the dance move. It's not something that I'm proud of. It's not something that I think is right. And I shouldn't have done it.
Well, I mean, that doesn't matter. Who cares? But I'm assuming it's like children that he asked for. I wish I knew the age of the children compared to him. What is this guy's name? Austin Jones?
This really blew up online when a YouTuber and someone that's very popular on social media somehow found this out and decided to blast it out there. I'm not going to say any names because I've come under attack on social media for my name being spread around, and I don't want to put that on anyone else. So throughout this story...
Oh, he's 29 now, so they were probably quite young.
It really blew up online. And
I like the virtuous perspective. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want them to get hate. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. You have no leg to stand on, I'm sure. I just have to try to figure out how old he was versus how old they were. 13. I was too busy going on a fucking tirade. I didn't even hear him say an age. He said 14 to 15. Okay, and how old was Austin Jones at the time? He's probably older because he's 29 now. So there's no way that they. I mean, I doubt that there was there's any explanation for it. I just like to ask the question because I think it's a good question to generally ask. He was 22. Yeah, that's inappropriate.
Sent me down a path that is pretty scary, and I'll go into more detail about this. But first, what I want to do is set the record straight. Since this started online, there are a lot of rumors and a lot of lies. They're just not true. Nothing ever went further than twerking videos. There were never any nudes, never any physical contact.
Oh, it's okay, guys. It was just twerking videos. What? You mean to tell me you've never asked a minor for a twerking video? Come on, what's the big deal here? It's just twerking.
Yeah, guys, haven't you seen Cuties? I don't know. It's fucking ridiculous.
Videos. Austin would get charged with multiple counts of producing inappropriate videos involving a child, and during the trial, his defense really backfired. But Your Honor, it was just twerking videos. He was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison.
No.
Slazo is an Australian YouTuber who...
Was he really? Good for them. I feel like that has to be a joke, because I feel like nobody ever gives a shit about like pedophile shit. Is that real? Good for them. Jesus Christ. I was expecting them to be like, yeah, nothing came of it.
Commentary videos. His videos were nothing
wow,
crazy.
He's in jail? Good.
Too edgy. He seems like a pretty nice guy from what I can tell. But one of his ex-girlfriends would tell the world that he in fact was not a nice guy and that he was controlling, abusive, manipulative, and worst of all, a Franklin fan. No, but let's be serious here. No more Franklin jokes because we're going to talk about some dark topics. So his ex-girlfriend Che posted a twitlonger detailing all of Slazo's terrible behavior. During our time together, Slazo, or Michael, was incredibly demanding of sexual favors and would often guilt or force me into situations with which I was not comfortable. If I was to try and deny or argue against him, he would become aggressive. She also went on to say that on their first date, he pressured her into having coitus, despite her never even having kissed anyone before.
My senior, at the time I was 14, 15, while he was 16, 17. Okay. That's not really a big deal. I expressed to Michael that I would rather wait until I was 16 to have sex, which is, in the end, never happened. Michael on our first date touched me, and as soon as me never kissing someone before, I assumed this was normal, although I was uncomfortable by it, and let it happen. Our second date was much the same. Him asking for a blowjob and trying to undo my bra in the public park, but again, I was uncomfortable. There was many times that I would say no or even cry, and he never taken seriously, and he would move my hand to touch himself as I cry or touch me. That's pretty fucked up. And he wouldn't visit when he's on his period. Well, that's pretty normal. It's a Chad move to not hang out with a girl on her period.
In addition to the twitlonger, she also attached some chats that the two of them had, which did not paint him in the best light. Keemstar would then cover this on Drama Alert.
Slazo said this to me in the DMs. He said, Shay and I have resolved this whole thing between ourselves a few times now, and I'm not sure what I can do anymore. I've apologized to her on multiple occasions. We met in person once, and I tried to put this to bed there, during which she said that she could tell I'd changed for the better, and even mentioned getting back together again if she and her current boyfriend didn't work out, which I found weird. There's a lot more to this. There are things in her statement that were straight up false, but I don't want to rush and bring them to light. I want to cover them properly. So apparently he is going to make some type of response. Serious allegations with that story.
So yeah, Slazo claimed that there was more to the story and that the situation wasn't nearly as bad as Che made it out to seem, and that the chats were taken out of context. She then posted a second twitlonger explaining the context of the meeting that the two of them had, and also explained the claim Slazo made. She also said she would break up with her current boyfriend for me, which weirded me out to be honest. Regarding that quote, she said, I am not going to deny that I said this, but he has taken the situation out of context. I had met with Michael to talk about what had happened during our relationship to sort our issues out, to which...
Wait, so she actually did say that? That's interesting.
We met at a cafe to talk. After talking in this cafe, Michael said he needed to drop things off at his hotel. We arrived and I said I would stay downstairs in the lobby, and he told me, no, you should come up. Despite feeling awkward, I felt safe in the fact that my friends knew who I was with and that I would be okay, believing Michael had changed. When in his room, Michael asked me multiple times to come up to the bed so we could hug and talk face to face, to which I, although feeling uncomfortable, agreed to. Michael then, after talking, told me he missed me and missed this and asked if we could ever possibly try again. I am alone in a room with this man on the bed with him, and he asked me that. I answer, maybe if me and my current boyfriend don't work out.
Okay,
and I apologize. Just something that I would like to add, I am a 4'9" female, and Michael is almost 6'2". I was honestly intimidated and worried that something may happen because of his anger issues that are shown in the Discord screenshots. We left the room soon after, and I was uncomfortable from this, but wanted to believe that he had changed and gave him the benefit of the doubt. I have not seen Michael in person since. Slaza would later follow up these accusations with a 26-minute long video titled My Side. In the video, he admits that while he was a douchebag, the situation was greatly exaggerated by Che. He also had receipts that both proved his side and greatly discredited Che.
But I do have plenty of evidence from very early on in the relationship where she clearly made no intention to wait until 16. That was never clear to me. I never got that impression, and I don't know why she's saying that.
He also claims that she, in fact, is the one who initiated the sexual stuff at the cinema, again, providing screenshots of the discussions they had about the topic.
We went into the cinema, we had our first kiss, our teeth hit each other's, neither of us knew what we were doing, and I was willing to call it quits there, when she pulls my hand down and says to touch her, which is a pretty long way from how she portrays it in her version of the story. In fact, she was actually the one who brought up the entire idea of doing anything in the cinema. It was her idea, and I had no reason to believe she wasn't as in on this as I was, so I'm not sure why she made it look like this.
It would then later be revealed by Turkey Tom that multiple big YouTubers colluded with Che to ruin Slazo's reputation. For what reason, I have no clue, but this whole situation almost ruined this man's life to the point where he hasn't posted on YouTube in over a year. Pro Jared. Pro Jared is a gaming YouTuber who was a member of Normal Boots along with another controversial YouTuber, JonTron. If you look through his content catalog, it's all very inoffensive and non-controversial gaming stuff. But in May of 2019, Jared would have one of the largest sub losses in YouTube history by percentage. Over the course of a few weeks, he would go from just over 1 million subscribers to around 760,000. Wow. That's a quarter of his entire subscriber base. And while he would later regain a portion of that loss, he would never recuperate everything. And his YouTube channel is currently stagnated compared to how it was before. So, what the heck happened? What did this guy do that was so bad? Did he emulate Nintendo games or something? No. Not quite that bad. It all started with this tweet. My wife Heidi and I have filed for divorce. I know this may come as surprising and unsettling for many of you, but know that we do this so that we may both seek happiness for ourselves. Now, this tweet made it seem like the split was amicable, which apparently was not the case. Jared was married to cosplayer Heidi O'Farrell, who tweeted, I recently learned that my husband, Pro Jared, has been having coitus with Holly Conrad behind my back for months. I have no idea what announcement he just made because he blocked me. She would go on to make a series of replies to the original tweet, giving more details about the situation. I have proof, explicit conversations and photographs of the relationship, which he extensively lied to me about on many occasions. He was promising me that he was committed to our relationship at the time, and promising her he was breaking up with me. It's also true that he has been soliciting nudes from his fans for years. I was there in the beginning. It was a joke on Tumblr, then it was its own Tumblr account just for nudes. It was ostensibly a body positivity space for consenting adults, and I approved on that basis. Which is true, he did have a thing for nude submissions on Tumblr, which is pretty freaking weird if you ask me.
Yeah.
But that's not the bad part. The bad part is that other people were alleging that Jared tried to obtain nudes from them and have sexually charged conversations with them when they were underage. Jared would largely be silent on this matter, which fueled the flames of people thinking he was guilty. Then after 3 months, he would eventually release a video called You've Been Lied To, detailing his side of the situation. He stated that the reason it took him so long to respond is because he was putting together a legal defense and didn't want to do anything without consulting with his lawyers. In this video, he kind of debunks most of the claims made against him.
What this all came down to was people saying that I was exchanging nudes with fans on Snapchat and Tumblr. And a lot of people want to know if I did any of that. Yeah, I did.
Hey, that's a baller moment, dude. Baller moment.
And I always made it clear that it was for consenting adults only. To be clear, it was an open invitation.
It's still kind of weird to do that, like to do that, but as long as they're consenting adults, I guess. It's just a bizarre thing to do.
To those who wanted to participate. The choice was always up to them.
This guy basically had his whole life ruined by false allegations, similar to Slazo. Very sad. FPS Rush, or Dmitry Potapov, as he is known on YouTube, was a YouTuber with a heavy Russian accent who made videos of him doing a bunch of cool shit, like shooting different kinds of firearms, driving tanks, blowing stuff up.
That's interesting. I remember seeing that guy. I never knew why he... I didn't even know he didn't make content anymore.
And on more than one occasion, almost getting himself killed.
Let's get a nice big explosion.
Nice.
Maybe a little shrapnel going.
Very Pogger movement. Wow. Fucking idiot.
Maybe a lot of shrapnel.
Wow. He almost killed himself.
Now, you might be asking yourself, how did this guy get access to these kinds of weapons, and how did he get the money to buy these weapons? Like, if he was actually Russian, that would make more sense, right? Wait, oh, did I forget to mention he's not Russian at all? He's just some dude named Kyle from Georgia, which should have been obvious. Like, if you thought this fake-ass Russian accent was real, you must be remedial.
Hello, my friends, this is FPS Russia, and I bring you another video.
I mean, like, how the fuck would I know? I'm American. You know, they all sound silly to me.
The more I learn about America, the more I am surprised.
Anyways, the way Kyle was able to get his hands on these kinds of weapons is because he was sponsored by a company named FPS Industries, which is a custom firearms fabrication and testing company. Despite making very cool and unique videos, Kyle hasn't posted any videos on the FPS.
What? Why did that mute itself? Okay, weird.
Despite making very cool and unique videos, Kyle hasn't posted any videos on the FPS Russia YouTube channel since 2016. So let's get to the insane part. Kyle obviously had a large production team around him because of the types of videos he was making. One of the members of his production team was a guy named Keith Ratcliffe, who actually co-founded the Russia FPS channel with Kyle and was the owner of FPS Industries. One day, Keith was found in his home shot in the back of the head one-time execution style. According to the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, there was no signs of forced entry at the business. Surveillance equipment along with some firearms had been taken. There did not appear to be a struggle of any kind, and based on the scene, Ratcliffe may have been killed by an individual or individuals he trusted. This led many people to speculate that Kyle was perhaps behind the assassination. Following his death, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms raided Kyle's house and found a lot of marijuana and hash oil.
Oh,
the Department
no,
of
not
Justice
marijuana.
prosecuted him on the grounds that having illegal substances while in possession of a firearm is a federal offense. He was later charged with possession with intent to distribute marijuana, which he pleaded guilty to, and all of his other charges were dismissed. For this, he would receive 2 months in federal prison and 2 years probation. To this day, Keith's killer still hasn't been caught. Well, guys, that's about.
Wow. So he smoked weed and he had a gun? I mean, that's probably the worst sin you could ever engage in, honestly.
That's all we have. Thank you so much for watching. If you stuck around till the end, I know it was a long video, so I really appreciate it. Also, if you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate if you guys would like the video and subscribe to my channel. It would help me out a lot.
Yeah, here you go.
I don't know what's going on at YouTube headquarters, if they got it out for me or something, but my last 2 videos got demonetized, which sucks. It's unfortunate because I put a ton of time and effort into these videos, but
yeah, that's why
if you guys want to support me,
effort,
you know, financially in the hopes that one day I might be able to do this full time, then, you know, go check out my Patreon. No pressure, all right? But if you got some extra money you feel like wasting, then go check it out. Also, check me out on other social media. It's all listed in this. Also, go check me out on other social media.
I would probably subscribe to his Patreon if he did like an outro, where he just like threw a quick credit like I do. That'd be totally fine. I'd be totally into that actually. Pretty good video by Dantavius though, bro. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down in the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.